FPL, give me 12 team selection. What is up everyone, how's it going? FPL Era here and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. The international break is coming to a close. We've finally got FPL back this weekend and we've got 9 games coming up over the next 40 days or so there's plenty of FPL content coming your way. In today's video I'm going to show you my team selection ahead of the Game Week 12 deadline. I have got 2 free transfers to use and I have used them. The main question is whether or not Erling Haaland is still in the team. We've lots to discuss, let's get into the video. Right then, before we get into today's video, quick reminder as always to give the video a like, and let's hit a like goal of 70 likes on this video. So head on down there, drop the video a like, and if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, what are you at? Head on down there, click subscribe. We are on the road to 7k subs, trying to get there before Christmas. We're just over 80 subs off hitting this milestone, so it's in our sights, but head on down there, click subscribe if you haven't done so already, and support the channel and help me on my way to hitting this milestone. So let's have a quick reminder of the Game Week 11 review. I know it seems so long ago, but it was a good week for the team. 69 points we scored, and starting off with the positive, we captained Salah over Haaland. Salah picking up a goal and assist for a 28-point return at home to Aston Villa. Haaland did get his goal away to Brighton, but he was knocked out of the bonus points when he picked up a yellow card late on. Looking at some other positives, my 2 Wolves players, Aït-Nouri and Cunha. Cunha picking up a goal and assist, and Aït-Nouri picking up a clean sheet at home to Southampton. 18 points scored from our 2 Wolves players with a lovely return then. And then to finish off, I started Mykolenko over Davies late on, brought Mykolenko into the team, was hoping for a clean sheet, and he got that clean sheet away to West Ham. So that was a nice return in the defence too. Probably looking at the only negative from last week was starting Raya over Fabianski. Fabianski kept the clean sheet in that same Everton game. He came away with a 9-point return, so if you did start Fabianski, fair play, that was a lovely return for your goalkeeper. And at the time of this recording, he actually looks set to rise in price tonight. My thought process behind starting Raya over Fabianski was just for security of having an Arsenal defender in my team. And to be fair, Arsenal were on for a clean sheet until late on when Pedro Neto wiped out that clean sheet. So I can't be too disappointed on starting Raya over Fabianski. I probably would have been more annoyed if I had Raya on the bench and he kept a clean sheet in that game. So we'll forget about that one for now, but all in all, it was a good return for the week. 69 points, and we're now sitting at 297k overall. We're still on track to be inside the top 100k before Christmas, and fingers crossed we can get another green arrow in Game Week 12. As I said also, I have 2 free transfers to use ahead of the Game Week 12 deadline tomorrow, so let's move on now and have a look at my transfer plans ahead of tomorrow's deadline. Right then, let's get straight into it. Looking at my team ahead of tomorrow's deadline, starting off on goals, I've got David Raya of Arsenal at home to Nottingham Forest. We all know Arsenal haven't been great defensively of late. No clean sheet in the last 7 games, only 3 clean sheets all season, so he has been a bit of a disappointment since I brought him in the wild card. They've got Nottingham Forest at home this weekend. I am hopeful of a clean sheet for Arsenal in this game. Fair enough, we know Nottingham Forest have started the season off well and they have a certain Chris Wood up front who did get a hat-trick away in international duty also, but I am hopeful of an Arsenal clean sheet this weekend. And even after the Forest game, they've got the likes of West Ham, Fulham, Everton, Ipswich. So over the next 6 or 7 games or so, I'm still expecting Arsenal to get 3 or 4 clean sheets, and that's why Raya won't be leaving the team anytime soon. And then moving on to my defence, looking at my back 3, I've got a current setup of Rico Lewis, Aït-Nouri and Mykolenko. It's not the most ideal backline for the weekend's games. I'm not expecting too many clean sheets from this back 3, but starting off with Aït-Nouri, he got his clean sheet last week against Southampton, but I'm not too confident of him getting a clean sheet away to Fulham. Fulham are pretty good at home this season, but with Aït-Nouri, there's always a chance of an attacking return, so that's why he's in the starting 11 this weekend. I just have to hope and pray and cross everything that he doesn't get a yellow card, because if he does get a yellow card this weekend, he'll be suspended for next week. And I do need Aït-Nouri. He does have a nice run of fixtures over the next couple of game weeks, so I'll be hoping he can stay out of the book for the next couple of weeks, as I do think he can get some nice returns if he is playing. Alongside Aït-Nouri is Rico Lewis at home to Spurs this weekend. There's a history of goals in this game and I'm expecting the same this weekend, so not too confident as well for a Man City clean sheet, even though there are a lot of injuries to Spurs with Van de Ven and Romero set to be sidelined this weekend. Looking at Rico Lewis, I don't think he's going to slot in right back with Walker probably going to be up against Son, and then Vardiol is going to take that left back role, so I do expect Rico Lewis to move into the centre alongside Kovacic. If he does start there at all, that's the only thing then. There's still some big question marks around whether he's going to start this weekend and thereafter, with the games coming thick and fast over the festive period. I'm sure Pep Roulette is going to be in full swing over the Christmas period, so I have got a decision to make on what to do with Rico Lewis. I do have 2 free transfers, as I said, so potentially I could move him out for another defender and look elsewhere for some returns. But for now, Rico Lewis is in the team. Let's see if he does start this weekend, and let's see if I do keep him. And Mikalenko of Everton completes my 3-man defence. He's at home to Brentford this weekend. I do have Mbeumo in the team also, so I'm not that confident of Everton keeping a clean sheet this weekend, alongside not being hopeful of a Man City or Wolves clean sheet. It's not looking great on the defensive front this weekend. I do have Davies at home to Manchester United on the bench also, and Van den Berg away to Everton, so maybe I could play Davies over Mikalenko for the chance of an attacking return in that Man United game. But for now, Mikalenko's into the team. Not that confident of the defence of getting some returns this weekend, but let's move on to the attack. So moving on to the midfield, we're looking good on the attacking front with some nice fixtures throughout that midfield. Salah away to Southampton, Morgan Rogers at home to Crystal Palace, Palmer away to Leicester, and Mbeumo away to Everton then as well. There were some small doubts or injury concerns around Palmer and Mbeumo, but they both returned to training yesterday, so they should be fine for the weekend's games. We'll start off with the man of the moment, Mohamed Salah. A full rest for the Egyptian king over the international break, so he's going to be well rested going into that Southampton game this weekend. Looking at that game, Liverpool up against one of the worst defences in the league, and the Saints are going to be an even weakened defence with Jan Bednarek and Aaron Ramsdale set to be sidelined for the next couple of weeks. Looking at Mo, 14 points scored in game week 11, 28 points when I did captain him. I am looking at captain him again this weekend. 7 double-digit returns in the first opening 11 games, and with that weakened Southampton defence, you wouldn't be surprised to see him make it 8 double-digit returns in 12 games, and that's why he gets the armband this weekend. Alongside Mo Salah as our second premium midfielder in Cole Palmer. He has been fairly disappointing since I brought him into the wildcard. Only 1 return in his last 4 games, but he has some favourable fixtures coming up over the next couple of weeks. Starting off at Leicester in the early kick-off this weekend, and then followed by Southampton in game week 14. I could be tempted to captain Cole Palmer in game week 14 during those midweek games, especially with Liverpool away to Newcastle and Man City up against Nottingham Forest, but we'll worry about that when the time comes along. He was an injury out over the international break, but he has returned to training this week, so he should be fine for the early kick-off this weekend, and fingers crossed we can get some returns from him. Morgan Rogers is up against a leaky Crystal Palace defence who've only kept 2 clean sheets all season. I'm confident of a return from him this weekend. He's got a decent run over the festive period up until game week 16, and he's probably one of the best value assets in the game, so he won't be leaving my team anytime soon. Bryan Mbeumo completes my 4-man midfield, and as we already said, he's away to Everton this weekend. Brentford are scoring for fun at the moment, 14 goals in their last 5 games, and Mbeumo is consistently amongst the FPL returns. There's some chatter in the FPL community about whether or not we should be selling Mbeumo after the Leicester game next week, when their fixtures do become a bit more difficult, but the way he's going at the moment, he won't be leaving my team anytime soon. That's the 4-man midfield out of the way. Let's move on to the strikers. Matheus Cunha, Chris Wood and Erling Haaland complete my starting 11 for now. Starting off with Cunha, Wolves have a nice run of fixtures up until game week 17, and looking at Cunha, he's been returning well since I brought him into the team, so he's not going to be leaving my team anytime soon. Then look at my other 2 strikers, Erling Haaland and Chris Wood. We'll start off with Chris Wood. He's definitely the man in form at the moment. Looking at his fixtures, they're not so great. Starting off with Arsenal away from home this weekend, then followed by a nice fixture at home to Ipswich in game week 13, but then he has to go to the Etihad in game week 14. So a nice fixture for the Ipswich game, sandwiched in between 2 difficult fixtures against Arsenal and Man City. So I do have some question marks around what I'm going to do with Wood. If I do keep him based on his form, or if I do hop off him based on the fixtures. So decisions to be made there. And then looking at Erling Haaland, he's definitely a man out of form at the moment. I'm hoping the international break will do good for him. Looking at that Spurs game this weekend, I do think I have to keep him for that game. A lot of injuries to Spurs in defence with Van de Ven and Romero set to be sidelined. So I do think it's a game City can score well, and I am expecting goals in that game also. So I think it's only right to keep Haaland this weekend. And if he doesn't do well, I can probably look to offload him next week. That's how we're shaping up for now. As I said, I do have 2 free transfers to use, so let's see how I've used them. So looking at my transfer plans ahead of tomorrow's deadline, I have 2 transfers to use. I've used my 2 free transfers. I've clicked confirm on these 2 transfers on screen. Taking out Chris Wood, which I might regret, and bringing in João Pedro, and taking out Rico Lewis and bringing in Gabriel. We'll start off with that first transfer, Chris Wood to João Pedro. I just took out Wood on the basis of those difficult fixtures, Arsenal and Man City for Nottingham Forest and Wood over the next 3 games. And then looking at João Pedro, Brighton have a nice run of fixtures over the next couple of game weeks, so I'm predicting João Pedro to outscore Wood over the next few, and that's why I've brought him into the team. On to that second transfer then, Rico Lewis to Gabriel. Just as the game's coming thick and fast over this festive period, I'm not that confident of Rico Lewis getting consistent starts over the next few game weeks. I'm sure Pep Roulette is going to be in full swing over the Christmas game, so that's why Rico Lewis has left the team, and I've brought in Gabriel first off for security of minutes, and secondly, as I'm predicting Arsenal get some clean sheets over the next run of games. So with those 2 free transfers made, here's what my updated team looks like, and it is a lot stronger, especially in defence, with Gabriel coming in for Rico Lewis for security of minutes. If Chris Wood somehow manages to wipe out my double Arsenal defensive clean sheet on Saturday, it's going to be a tough one to take, so all eyes on the Emirates, and fingers crossed we can get that double Arsenal clean sheet. If you've made it to the end of this video, please give it a like, drop a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's hit a like goal of 70 likes on this video, so head on down there, drop the video a like, and if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Head on down there, click subscribe. We're so close to hitting 7k subscribers. We're just over 80 subs off hitting this milestone. So if you are still watching and you haven't done so already, head on down there, click subscribe. It only takes a couple of seconds and it really does help out the channel. I'll see you all on Saturday afternoon for a GAMEWEEK 12 deadline stream where I'll be fully locking in my GAMEWEEK 12 team. Thanks for watching. Best of luck for the week. We'll see you in the next video.